Hey everyone, Gary Valor here with Sinlaw Backyard Chickens, and it is the end of June, towards the end. It's supposed to get up to 101 today here in central Louisiana. We're having a heat wave with a heat index of 115 degrees. So I thought, what better time than today to talk about how to help keep your chickens cool. But before I do, my wife suggested that I give you guys a little bit of background about me, so I thought maybe that would be a pretty good idea. I was raised in central Louisiana in a little town called Dry Creek, more of a settlement than it is a town. And if you were from Dry Creek, you were either a farmer or you were country folk, or both. There was really not much choice to be anything else. For a while, we farmed soybeans. I worked for cattle ranchers, hauled hay during the summer. That's just kind of what you did when you were from there. Was raised with horses and cows and pigs and chickens, turkeys, just ducks, all kind of manner of animal. I don't think we ever had goats, if I remember right, but we had all of this stuff. Well, back in 2016, my kids came over and they got me a chicken tractor, because I was raised doing all of this stuff. And so I had a chicken tractor. It had been years since I had been around farm animals or chickens because, got out of high school and did my thing, went to college and all that kind of fun stuff. And I kind of fell back in love with chickens again, and it's evolved to what you see behind me here today. My birds over here, I've got, this big fancy chicken run in the coop and the tunnels and free ranging and just doing all of that stuff. And I kind of started comparing recently, how much more knowledge we have today, how much more sophisticated things are today, how much we treat our chickens and we know all this better today, or really do we? And when I think about it, way back when, you think about chicken nutrition. I have great feeds that I give my chickens. I give them oyster shells as supplements, and I have grit in there. Plus they get to free range and do all that in the yard over here. But our chickens, when I was a boy that we grew up with, did all of these things. We had a big barn. We didn't have necessarily a chicken coop in there, but we had a large barn. Inside this barn, the chickens could get way up high out of the way of predators. They free ranged every day. Mama threw scraps out to them pretty much every day. We give them 2 or 3 handfuls of chicken feed that we'd throw out in the evenings. So if you think about it, their diet was extremely varied, very healthy. They got all the things that they wanted. They got plenty of protein. They got grubs and worms and bugs and all that stuff. Plenty of vegetation that they could get. So they had all of that. When it comes to shelter, getting out of the weather and the rain, they were able to go in the barn. They could get under shade trees. They could actually jump and climb in our shade trees growing up. So they had that. We always had more than one dog that grew up as puppies with the chickens, so they didn't attack the chickens. So they were there to kind of look after them. We never thought about it, and the dogs certainly never thought about it being their job to look after the chickens. However, if a fox or anything came on our property, it was not supposed to be there, and the dogs would quickly let them know that. So we had protection for them, and we had shelter for them. We had all this variety of food, and they were healthy. They were happy. Well, today, we have all of those things, but we're almost artificially creating them. I've got this fancy coop here that's really predator proof. At least I think it is. Certainly hope it is. I let them free range every day, but I lock them up at night. I've got cameras in here that I could watch my birds. I've got an exhaust fan in here when it gets hot that I can tell Alexa to turn the fan on and keep them cool, So we have all these fancy gadgets and gizmos that we do today. But if you think about it, when we were younger, at least if you're from my generation, this was in the 60s and 70s doing this, or at least your parents or grandparents, they actually gave these chickens all of these things that we work so diligently to do and worry about so much today. It was just part of the culture when you were raising these animals. That's what you gave them. So anyway, let's talk about keeping your birds cool. That is a big deal, especially days like today with a heat index of 115. One of the things that I like to do to keep my chickens cool is give them treats. I will take slices of cantaloupe and melon and blueberries and blackberries and all that, and put them in ice trays, freeze them, and then dump it out for them mid-afternoon when it's very hot. I take their large waterer that I keep outside. We also have one inside, of course. that take their large water and I'll freeze it overnight. So now it sits out during the day under the shade tree, slowly melts, and they always have a good, nice, cool drink of water. I think perhaps one of the most important things to keep these birds cool is to give them a place to have shade. It's extremely important to give them shade, and if it's possible, give them shade that they can have a dust bath in, because that dust bath is cool, just an inch or two, even less than that, underneath the earth. The ground is cool and they like to get in there. It's healthy for them. It helps keep mites and all that stuff out of their systems, and it helps to keep them cool. So shade and a good dust bath are extremely important for them. After that, you can do the treats. You see them eating watermelon right now. That's nice and cool. This cools their bodies. My coop itself, when you look inside of it, I've got windows on all four corners of it, so the breeze can flow through there as necessary. I can open it up even more whenever I need to get more breeze through them, so that's good. And then, of course, like I said, I have an exhaust fan. I can blow some serious air in there whenever I want to, and I did it last night. And generally what I'll tell you, because I'm on Alexa, you know, everything's wired in today, and I'll turn my exhaust fan on, and I'll generally tell Alexa to turn it off at midnight or whatever, whenever I see the temperature is going to get somewhere that's reasonable in there. The birds hopefully appreciate it, you know. So anyway, want to make a quick video right here today to let you know what I'm doing to help keep your birds cool. I hope that this helps you some today. If you like it, please click on the like button, leave me a note in there, anything that you might want to see. I'm taking this adventure again after being out so many years. And it is just really wonderful to do. So thank you so much for looking at my channel. Talk to you guys again soon. Bye-bye.